B&M's Hypercoaster model has become one of the most successful large coaster models of all time, with a total of 18 sold, usually for around $20 to $35 million. They tend to be good investments for parks because the general public absolutely love them, they're high capacity, and they are extremely reliable. In fact, every single B&M Hyper that has opened is still to this day operating in its original location. There are still, however, many parks that could use these hypercoasters, although whether that idea is actually realistic or not varies. Today, I'm going to be taking 10 North American parks where a B&M Hypercoaster would fit extremely well. 3 of which I wouldn't be surprised if they got one, 4 of which the idea is out there but not entirely unreasonable, and 1 category where the Hyper would fit well, but you'd have to be on Jerry's Special Sugar to think it would actually happen. We're going to start off with the Jerry's Special Sugar category, and the first pick that I have is Magic Springs in Arkansas. Now, there are a number of reasons why B&M Hyper would be a great fit. First of all, Magic Springs is severely lacking airtime, although Arkansas Twister and its 7-second long airtime hill would probably be upset to hear that. Really, the only airtime in the park is the drop at the end of Big Bad John. They also don't have anything over 200 feet. The closest hypercoaster in general is 5 hours away at Six Flags Over Texas, and they have no standout ride of any kind. I might even argue that their SLC looks like their best coaster there. A B&M Hyper would fill all those holes and make this a true large-scale amusement park rather than just a wannabe large park, but it's Magic Springs, so this isn't going to happen. Second, I have Blue Bayou Dixieland in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This is here mainly because I feel like the people of New Orleans and Baton Rouge deserve a new roller coaster after having Six Flags New Orleans completely stripped away and being left with Dixieland, where the standout coaster is a Vekoma Boomerang that's listed for sale.
Hey, he ain't playing no games. What is that? What is that? Wait,
Now, I know that Blue Bayou Dixieland is a water park focused park, but that's because their dry park has been lagging behind as of late, and a B&M Hypercoaster would really take care of that, while at the same time giving them a standout coaster and what the people of Louisiana deserve. Once again though, this is just a complete pipe dream. Now, my final Jerry Special Sugar pick is the park at Owa in Mobile, Alabama. Owa is a brand new complex that first opened an amusement park back in 2017 that's home to a Zamperla Thunderbolt and some family rides. Now it's a full complex with an amusement park, entertainment and shopping center, and soon a water park. Adding a B&M Hyper would keep up with this rate of expansion while at the same time creating a great 1-2 punch alongside Rollin' Thunder. Now we'll move on to the category where there is a slight possibility that adding a B&M Hyper could happen, but still extremely unlikely. The first park I have is Knott's Berry Farm. This would be a great fit because Knott's is missing a hyper coaster, and their coaster that's closest to a hyper style ride is Ghost Rider. A B&M Hyper would be extremely beneficial for Knott's because it would give them a graceful yet thrilling ride they need, and it would definitely be great for the West Coast because the West Coast only hyper is Goliath. Now, I definitely think that Knott's could get an investment of this size, but the reason I think it's highly unlikely that it'll be a B&M Hyper is because they're very limited on space. Maybe they could do something like a Silver Bolt where much of the ride takes place above other things though. Second, I have Lich Gardens. Lich Gardens is severely lacking a high capacity, high throughput ride, airtime, a modern coaster, and really just good roller coasters in general. Obviously, a B&M Hyper would perfectly fill all those holes. Now, a lot of people would probably say that this has a 0% chance of happening, but the reason I put it in this tier is because it's confirmed that Lich Gardens will be relocating and adding new rides, including roller coasters, when they relocate the park. So you never know. Third, I'm picking Six Flags Fiesta Texas. Fiesta Texas is definitely not lacking ejector airtime considering their lineup is led by 2 ejector machine RMCs, but they are lacking in the floater airtime department. All they really have there is Pandemonium, I guess. They could also make this a unique B&M Hypercoaster if they made some interaction with the terrain. Most B&M Hypers are on flat pieces of land, so they have an opportunity for something different here. Built different even, you could say. Okay, I'm sorry, that was terrible. Let me move on. The reason that this is very unlikely is because it's operated by Six Flags, who don't purchase expensive rides like B&Ms. They wouldn't purchase a B&M Hyper unless their business model changed. But that's okay, have fun with your Access Fiesta Texas. And my last pick for this tier is Wild Adventure. As many of you know, Wild Adventures just had their big ass CCI cheetah removed. Well, I guess it hasn't been deconstructed yet, so there's the RMC or Titan Track possibility, so it hasn't been removed, but you know what I mean. There's a lot they could do with that land, one of the most intriguing ideas being a B&M Hyper. This park has literally 0 airtime, their tallest coaster is 110 feet tall, and their best coaster is a Vekoma SLC, so yeah, they are desperate for a new coaster of any kind. The question is whether Hershey would be willing to invest $30 million into Wild Adventures, which I'm not so sure they are, considering they seem to be focusing on the family and zoo aspect of the park. Now in the last tier of the video, we have 3 parks where I wouldn't be surprised at all if they purchased a B&M Hypercoaster at some point. First of all, the most obvious pick, and maybe what you thought when you saw the title of the video, California's Great America. California's Great America has been rumored to have a B&M Hyper in their plans, and I've been hearing talks that's off the table, but those are just rumors too, so they probably have the same weight as the original CGA Hyper idea. The tallest ride at California's Great America is 108 feet tall, and the tallest in the Bay Area is still only 150 feet tall. A true hypercoaster would be a nice change of pace for locals and give California's Great America a true edge over Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, considering Discovery Kingdom is literally just not legally allowed to build a hypercoaster. This is way out there, but it would be kind of funny if they removed Grizzly and built a Raging Bull clone in place, because then it would be in the exact same spot of the park as the Six Flags Great America version. Both parks have the exact same park layout if you're wondering. My second pick is Lagoon in Utah. Lagoon has a really strange ride lineup because they have a bunch of old clones, but then 2 coasters that feature vertical drops and inversions. A B&M Hyper would be nice because it would give them another modern coaster to balance out the Jetstars and Hang and Bangs. Lagoon also lacks airtime based rides, and well, you know what B&M Hypers do best. Recently with Wicked, Cannibal, and Primordial when that opens during the next Cicada cycle, Lagoon has been showing that they aren't afraid of large investments, so I don't see why this would be impossible. And now for the last pick of the video, I have Michigan's Adventure. You see, Michigan's Adventure already has a wooden B&M Hyper, so it just makes perfect sense to complete their collection. But in all seriousness, Michigan's Adventure is in desperate need of a new coaster, and no, Woodstock Express does not count. And they really just need a good quality ride to place in the dry park and get it up to par with the water park. Now B&M Hyper might seem out there and like it doesn't belong in this section of the video, but I could actually see it happening at some point because Michigan's Adventure hasn't gotten a new coaster in a long time, so they are due. And I feel like Cedar Fair might go through a stage where they give a big ride to all their smaller parks and then go back to forgetting they exist for the next 15 years. It might just be Michigan's Adventure's time. So that's about gonna wrap up this video. Let me know down in the comments some parks where you think a B&M Hyper might fit well. Specifically some international parks would be nice. I decided to make this video North America specific because I'm a lot more educated on North American parks, so I feel more comfortable saying like, hey, this ride would be a good fit here, if that makes sense. Anyways, feel free to leave a like or subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Leave any suggestions, thoughts, or video ideas down in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.